So I go into, so I got my franchise, right? I'm rocking and rolling. I am Clinton Shane. People know I'm gay. I'm married. I'm ready to rock it you know, in my franchise, my business, my corporate. I've made it. So would go into some boardrooms, very, conservative, with my tie and my things on, and trying to do my thing, and going by the corporate sales book, trying to sell my services, making these connections. So I go into a boardroom, I get in there, and it's a parallel with your story. I feel you can let me know. It's like, oh, there's some differences, Clint. So, so go into the boardroom. I head in there, and I would get called ma'am all the time over the phone if I would land some. Like I talked to the administrative assistant, executive assistant, who would get me in with the COO or COO or somebody from leadership, and it was typically they would always say, "All right, ma'am," and I would finally just stop running, like stop correcting them, and I was just like, "All right, just tell them Clinton Shane will be there." All right, ma'am. All right, bye. And so I would get there, right? And so already have this impression of something. I'd show up in the boardroom, and there would always be a confused look. And this would happen on several occasions with different types of comments. But it would usually be how we'd start out the meeting. They know all about my franchise, go a little bit through my resume. And then it's talking to them about how I can help them with workforce staffing. And it goes into, well, they said you were a woman over the phone. Who are you? Like that. Or there would be a situation where I would stand up in front of the group and give a little spiel to some of the department directors, and there would be a couple of times that that even one of my recruiters would be with me on the call, and they would say, "Well, we got a pretty boy up here, don't we?" So, because we work in light industrial, so how? Now we know they're just shitty people and shitty employers. That we cannot deny. But in this space, when we talk about marginalization, willful ignorance, education, how do you address things like that to the marginalized group? Like, what would be the best way for us to approach that? And kind of shed some light on that willful ignorance instead of us triggering and being like, hey, asshole, don't be talking like that to me.
I think it's the same thing.
Praise the Lord.
It's the same kind of situation. Somebody thinks they're being funny or making a whatever comment for whatever reason. Either they're uncomfortable or they think they're genuinely giving a compliment, you a compliment. But I think it's the same situation. I think you have to ask questions. And I think you have to ask people if they're open to perspective. And you have to make that statement of, I know you probably didn't intend for this, but here's how that comment landed on me and my perspective, and I just wanted you to know in case others you encounter might share a similar perspective. I wouldn't want you to be seen in a bad light because of something you said with this intention when it really created this impact.
Right.
So it's that reminder of intention versus impact that's helpful. And if someone doesn't care about their impact, then I would argue they have no business being a leader.
So that's that kind of that empathy pillar. It's like, listen, if you, because you got to have some common core structures when you've made the decision to apply for a job to go into a director level position. You're going to manage people. Like, there's got to be that empathy there on the other side.
I'm not afraid to tell leaders who tell me that they're too sensitive, or if I hear a leader say that they don't care about the impact they've created, then I am not afraid to tell them, I don't think you belong in leadership if you don't care about impact. Because if you are going to influence another human being, you have to care about the impact you're creating, or you have no influence.